So you want to know why your low light photos look dark. Well, in this video, we're going to tell you why, and we're going to tell you how to fix them. Coming right up. I'm Robert Maxfield. I'm a concert and music photographer in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, and welcome to Max Concert Photography, where we talk everything concert photography related, and then we talk some other things too. But anyway, in this installment, we're going to cover low light photography and some of the problems you can have and some of the ways of fixing them really quickly and easily. What we want to do is to get from this photograph to this photograph, and it's really simple to do. There are three major types of metering. Evaluative or matrix is the first one we're going to explore. Matrix or evaluative meters the whole entire view, everything you see in the picture. So it takes the lights and the darks and averages them out and comes out with your exposure. So if there's a lot more dark than there is light, you get a very dark photograph. The next one is center weighted, and as you can see by the big red dot in the center of the screen, that's where the light is going to be metered from. It takes most of the subject, but still gives you a little more area than you might want. And the best one to use, the one we recommend, is spot metering. And normally what you'll do is take a reading off of the face of the artist that's most important to you and meter from there. The only important consideration is you have to make sure that the spot that you're metering from is actually on the face and not in some place that, like this dark area here. Otherwise it will meter pure blackness. Or if the subject is lit, backlit, it will measure the light coming towards you and leave the subject itself in a silhouette state. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fix the problem of the photograph being dark, and we're going to bring up the light and still keep the shadows so we can see the person's face but still not lose the effect of the photograph. We're going to do this by modifying the photograph's histogram in Adobe Camera Raw, and there are other products that will do the same thing, but we're going to tweak it just a little bit to bring up the facial features and give it a little more tone but still keep the shadow. On the histogram, we're going to take the 2 points marked with the yellow arrows and move them slightly to the left until we can see the face actually get some light. I like to actually move the pointers to the left until about the first bump, when you can start to see the histogram go uphill a little bit. That tells you when it's being a little more effective. The next problem is called backlighting, and that's when the light is coming from behind your subject. And this is a problem because what it does is it causes what we call silhouettes. A lot of people think those are artistic, but when you first find out about them, they're an accident most of the time. But the light is coming from behind your subject, and it's real bright, and the front of your subject is real dark, and we're going to attack that right now. This shot is of Aaron Watson at Billy Bob's, Texas. And Aaron Watson, I've shot him 2 or 3 times, and when he's in the dark, he likes to light up and see the audience. So he uses a ton of backlighting. And I've already corrected this one, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I've shot Aaron Watson 2 or 3 times, and every time I've shot him inside or in the dark, he's used a heavy backlighting. And the way to combat this is to use spot metering and spot meter off his face. Ignore everything in the background because it definitely will be overexposed. But the artist will be properly exposed if you use the spot metering. People will tell you that you have to use a high ISO, and that's garbage, in my opinion. I rarely go above ISO 1600, and I don't have to because I use the techniques that I'm showing you in this video. I take it and I bump up my exposure either in Camera Raw, or I can bump it up a little bit in Photoshop, and it comes out just fine. If you need to use denoising tools, go ahead and do it. You can use a little bit of sharpening, that helps. But typically, I can underexpose 2 to 5 stops, 5 on the real high end, and still come out with photographs that are perfectly fine. I may have to use the denoise, I may have to use the sharpening a little bit, but it allows me to keep the shutter speed up and keep the f-stop, so I have a little bit of depth and range, and it helps quite a bit. So ISO, to me, 1600, I rarely go above that. There's no need, and that's just the way I shoot. I shoot everything in full manual except white balance and autofocus. That's the only two auto things I use. A lot of people try to shoot things in automatic, aperture priority. It's a hassle. You can't tell what you're going to get consistently. So I will preach all day long. Learn to shoot in full manual, and the only thing I use automatic is white balance and autofocus. So full manual is the way to go. We'd like to take the time to thank all our subscribers and viewers, everybody that watches this channel. Thank you very much. If you found anything useful, please like and subscribe. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, confusions, man, put them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We answer our comments, and we appreciate you. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. See ya.